He wondered if he could easily make his opponent tremble. The match was started, and his opponent screamed that the evil soul masters had dared to show up and went running towards him. He attacked him with a quasi-moon slash. The battle got very intense between them. The Heavenly Capital member was very strong, and extremely bright rays of light had started to come out from him. The audience couldn't bear it, and wondered what kind of soul skill it was. They were not even able to open their eyes. His soul skill was so strong that even the metal ground was broken. Everyone speculated that the Holy Spirit cult member had lost and questioned if the Heavenly Capital Academy was a natural enemy of evil soul masters. That evil soul master didn't even get the chance to use his soul skill at all, and everyone found the soul skills of the Heavenly Capital very amazing. Yu Hao found it very terrible, and Dong'er questioned him what exactly was terrible. He meant the Holy Spirit cult. The opponent would have never expected that. It was almost impossible to see with normal eyes, but when he found out about it, it was already too late. Blood had started to come out from the opponent's nose. Countless nano-sized bugs had attacked him. Those bugs were only seen by using the purple demon eyes due to its small size. But before he knew it, the bugs had already entered his body, and the Heavenly Capital Academy's participant had died due to the evil soul master's ability. The referee questioned him that why he had killed him. The teacher of the Heavenly Capital Academy came to the arena and shouted that it was not a competition anymore. It was a slaughter. Everyone agreed with him that how they could be so cruel and that they were very scary. The leader of the Holy Spirit cult commented that there was no rule that no one should be killed in the tournament, and if they had enough ability, they were allowed to kill their people too if they wanted to. The Heavenly Capital declared that they would not fight anymore and left the tournament will of their members. It was too much and very cruel. Everyone questioned that how could they allow something like that, and it was very sadistic. Yu Hao was sure that it was his sister's voice who was leading the Holy Spirit cult. Dong'er was confused that what was Yu Hao talking about, and how could it be his sister Ma Xiaotao? He responded that nothing was impossible, and continued saying that first, his sister's disappearance was related to Jing Hongchen, and then it was someone similar in the Holy Spirit sect. Judging by the relationship between Sun and Moon Empire and the Holy Spirit cult, he speculated that both Sister Ma Xiaotao and Sister Xiaoya were in their hands. He saw them leaving from there. They had a giant veil that was covering their faces completely. He couldn't even see their face clearly even after using with spiritual detection. He tried to call out his sister's name, but then he decided that he should try a voice transmission to her by using his spiritual energy. And if it really was his sister, then it would at least take an effect. But there was no response. There seemed to be a slight pause in her voice, but it also seemed like nothing ever happened. Yu Hao couldn't really find the answer. He questioned his sister if it was really her. At Mingdu Hotel's canteen, all the members of Tang's sect were celebrating the joining of Chu Chu in their sect. She was constantly calling Yu Hao a cheater. He talked to her and said that she couldn't really blame him for that, and it happened because she was just little too arrogant and he had not tricked her or anything. She went to Dong'er and asked what he meant by that and tell her before they continue eating. That conversation made him know that why her mother didn't show any resistance and let her join their Tang sect. She blamed them that the reason they had recruited her to join their sect was obviously to embarrass her. She was willing to be killed by them and die rather than to give up on Dong'er. Zhuan Ziwen tried to convince her that they were good people. She mocked him by calling him a baldy and asked who he was. Kai Tu Huo asked everyone that what they were doing. She talked to Chu Chu and told her not to care whatever they would say. She further added to it that as she had joined the Tang sect, there was no need to worry about getting bullied. She would always protect her as her elder sister. She asked to just stay with her and Nana. She questioned her there where was she going to stay. Kai Tu responded that she could stay with her and Nana in their room, but she wanted a separate room and asked them to talk to the organizer and provide an extra room for her. Sanchi went to her and said that who she had thought they were and told her that they were just a lesser-known sect and questioned if the organizers would care about their request. He further added that since she has joined their Tang sect, she should not try to bring her old attitude she had before in there and make troubles. She responded that if that was the case, then they should let her share the room with Huo Yu Hao. Both Yu Hao and Dong'er screamed that a man and a woman could not share a single room. They told her that she should know a man and a woman couldn't stay in a single room. She tried to convince them that they were all soul masters, and they should not think too much about it. She recommended that she was willing to sleep on the couch. Yu Hao disagreed and commented that she was still a young girl, and she should care what would happen to her reputation. She questioned him that why he should care about her reputation, and also said that it was not like she was sleeping with him. She was just sharing the same room, and even though he was actually strong, she still did not believe that he could move against her. She also recommended to ask others' opinion regarding that, but he disagreed with her. She told him to look at Wang Dong and see how nice he was. She continued saying that he couldn't possibly take advantage of someone. Dong'er complimented that she actually was very strong, even though she didn't want her to bother them. but she found Yu Hao's reaction on this situation very cute. She was enjoying to see his depressed face as it was only seen once in a while. They had to agree with her and took her to Yu Hao's room. She sat on the couch and decided to sleep there. She asked him and Dong-er that they both were grown-ups, so how were they sleeping on the same bed? Dong-er responded that she had to take care of him as it was inconvenient for him to move around, so she needed to stay by his side. She called Dong-er a very kind person, unlike someone who was despicable and hypocrite, and she was so good to him. Yu Hao asked Dong-er to take him to bed as he was very tired after the match. Chu thought of him as a shameless man and whispered that how he could order Wandong around. He was really annoying her. As Dong-er had put Yu Hao on the bed, he asked her to wait for a minute and kissed her. Chu was shocked by seeing that, and Yu Hao was sticking his tongue out at her. Dong-er forgot that there was also another person in the room and kicked Yu Hao back on the bed. Yu Hao stated that he was just angry because she was trying to take his personal space with Dong-er, as she had insisted on staying even after he told her so many times. That's why they had to let go and didn't care anymore. Dong-er called him a bad guy. He replied that he just helped her in solving a problem. Otherwise, they had no idea how annoying Chu would have become in the near future. The next match was in between Shrek Academy and Heavenly Armor Sect. Both of the participants were told to introduce themselves. The participant from the Shrek Academy was Dai Huabin, and from the Heavenly Armor Sect was Han Yu. Dong-er commented that it was finally Shrek Academy's turn. Yu Hao noticed that Chuer had not appeared in the arena, and it seemed to him as she wanted to maintain her full strength. Huabin went running towards his opponent, saying that he would show his father how powerful he was that day. He attacked Han, but he protected himself with the help of his shield. Huabin's eyes got red and blood started to come out of it, and he attacked Han back. He got unconscious, and Huabin from Shrek Academy won. Yu Hao noticed that his fighting style was just like Chuer. Dai Huadin admitted his defeat after winning 2 consecutive matches. Sanchi was confused that what was he trying to do. Even though he could continue, but still he quitted after winning 2 matches. It was very unlikely of him to give up. Yu Hao realized that it was one of Chuer's strategies. She must have wanted everyone to experience. After all, it was their first tournament. The next member from Shrek Academy was Wu Feng. She attacked her opponent, but he protected himself from a shield. To her, it seemed like the previous fire shield was just a trap to lure her in, but it was useless for her. She attacked her opponent with a strong fist and won the match. Just like Huabin, after 2 wins, Feng also accepted her defeat. The third participant from Shrek Academy was Ji Huanyue. He also admitted defeat after 2 wins, just like both of them. Yu Ha commented that Shrek Academy was so disciplined. The referee announced that the individual elimination round ended there, and Shrek Academy had gotten 4 points following with Heavenly Armor Sect, who had obtained 0 points. Next was the team match. Both teams were asked to rest and then prepare for 2 minutes and be ready after that. After a while, both teams were called out on stage. The referee informed that just like the elimination round, both sides had to retreat to sides before the start of the match. The participants who couldn't fight any longer would be eliminated. They were also asked to avoid casualties as much as possible. He asked if both teams had understood. Both teams agreed with them. Chuer stood on stage with a mask on, her opponent standing in front of her. He found her eyes very beautiful. Everyone from the Shrek Academy was confused about the formation of teams. They found it very weird. Heavenly Armor Sect had lost the individual matches terribly, but it seemed like they were pretty confident by using that strange formation of team. Yu Hao wondered if there was something special about that formation. Tang's sect was worried that Shrek Academy would lose the match because of the team formation. The match had begun. Someone from the audience who had 1 green and 1 blue eye felt like he had seen the new captain of Shrek Academy somewhere before. He would know who the caption was only if she had taken off that cover from her face. The other person from the audience responded that as long as he has seen a beautiful woman, he always said that line. He asked her to shut up and said that there were so many people around. All the members from the Heavenly Armor had thrown their shield on the ground that had confused everyone. Tang's sect asked if they were trying to attack with shield shards. The 4th soul ring of every member of the Heavenly Shield sect was activated and was emitting a strong soul power fluctuation. They were not only trying to expand their soul skill, but they were also trying to increase their power output. The arena was now suddenly being suppressed by that power. The pressure could be felt even on the outer barrier that was reinforced. The pressure was comparable to an ancient beast. Yu Hao had not expected a rare ability to be found in that sect. The Shrek Academy clearly looked suppressed. Someone asked if they were still able to win. Suddenly, red ashes started to come out of Chuer. It seemed like the Shrek Academy still had a monster that was left to play for them. The pressure Chuer was emitting was definitely not inferior to them. Everyone was shocked if she was going to face her opponents alone. But it seemed like the charging time for her opponent's soul fusion was about to end. They had maximized their Heavenly Armor Needle. People got curious if Chuer was going to face her opponents all-out attacked head-on. A 7 treasure-glazed tile pagoda was activated. The first soul skill was speed amplification. The third soul skill was strength amplification, and the fifth soul skill was attack amplification. 7 treasure-glazed tile pagoda martial soul was the best support soul in the world. But the match's performance would all be thanked toward Chuer. There was a time reversal in between the match, although the time reversal only lasted for a short while, but it had the ability to turn back the opponent's moves a few moments back. The support from Wu Feng and Dai Huabin was on time. Although it was not enough to destroy it, it could at least weaken it. Chuer stopped that soul fusion attack in a glance that had shocked everyone in the audience. Her opponents thought that she had disappeared, but she was in the sky. With one shot, she completely destroyed the top shield with her sword that was in the sky. The heavenly armor started to use their soul powers to keep a distance from her, but they all fell on the ground, and just like that, the Shrek Academy had won the match. Yu Hao commented that they were stronger than what they had initially imagined. Their team cooperation was completely different from the previous sparring match, and all the members of the team, no matter how they were being viewed, all of them could be considered the geniuses of the younger generation. It seemed that the pride and arrogance they had was completely diminished under Chuer's training. The fact that they acted like a unit with Chuer as the core was the only thing that was considered scary. Yu Hao hoped they don't meet them soon. That day match were ended and they were all back to the hotel. Yu Hao had a conversation with his team members and told them that he would briefly talk about the next day's strategy. Sanchi asked him if they were planning to go solo till the end. He replied in disagreement and said that before there were many teams, so he played solo and everyone got enough time to rest. He further added that from next match on, the rest time for all of them would be shorter, and each of them must hide their strength as much as possible. He also mentioned that the battle-style Shrek Academy had used was worth following and asked everyone to be in their best shape for the next match. Each of them were only going to fight 2 matches, and after that they would get down. Sanchi agreed with him that it was the best way for them to hide their power. Yu Hao stated that Brother Sanchi would be the fifth one to go in the next day's match, and Brother Kaitu would be the second to go, and he was also going to fight only 2 opponents. Xiao Xiao would go third, Sister Nan Nan would go fourth. He also said that both Sister and Xiao Xiao needed to only beat a single person. And lastly, Donger was going to fight the last person. That was all the arrangement for the next day's match. But Nana looked very sad. Yu Hao told her not to be sad and informed her that she would be fighting in the team match. As in the team match, everyone was important, and he was only act as the main control of the team, so she don't have to make her face like that. She answered him that it does not matter and she was willing to accept whatever he had chosen for her. She was constantly addressing him as master. He had already asked her to stop calling him master, but she was still calling him out that. He commanded everyone to go back and rest, but asked Nana to stay behind. When everyone left, he questioned her if she had confirmed the thing he asked her to investigate. She responded with agreement and said that it was really them. She continued saying that she could not forget the feeling he had gotten from them at that time, even if she were to die. So she was sure it was them. Yu Hao's guess was right. The Holy Spirit cult was an evil sect. He also mentioned to her not to be afraid as he was going to protect her at all cost. He questioned her if she had found the things he asked her for. She had gone to all 3 black markets, and only the biggest one had them in stock, but the price they had said was a lot. She thought it was due to the demand. He didn't want her to care about the high price. It was fine as long as it was in stock. And they must start preparing early and be ready before the war had started, and she should keep in touch with them regularly. He would go and see it by himself later. He told her to go back to her room and rest and asked her to be safe and alert when she was out at night. Donger questioned him who was he trying to keep in touch through Nana. He replied to her that they were in the Sun and Moon Empire from that moment. They couldn't do nothing and sit simply when they had 2 big customers. He was asking her to keep in touch with a seller. She queried if he meant he was asking Nana to buy rare metals for them. He answered that she was right. He was asking her to buy rare metals in their stead. It was a metal they would using in long term, and they must get that.